So remember about 2.5 months ago when I said I was going to be doing another book haul pretty soon? These are all of those books, including all of the books that I've accumulated over the past 2.5 months. Of course, that does not justify the insanity that I am about to haul. This is easily going to be the biggest book haul I have ever done on this channel and likely ever will do on this channel. It is so large, in fact, that I am going to have to divide it up into 3 parts. I will be dividing them up into categories by young adult, adult, and graphic novels. So I'm going to get this kicked off with the young adult, and the first books that I'm going to show you are the more recently released and just the most hyped on Booktube right now. And then I will go down further into less hyped and older releases and such like that. I'm not even going to try to do one of those pulling bananas, you know, book thing. I would die. I would die. I have to say I'm not going to go into a huge amount of detail for each of these books because this video would be 5 hours long and ain't nobody got time for that. The first book that I picked up is The Murder Complex by Lindsay Cummings, and this is one that I've heard a lot of people talk about recently. This is a dystopian about a society where the murder rate has increased exponentially. I think it's kind of like, when I'm thinking of like plots, I think it sounds kind of similar to The Purge, if you've seen that movie. Maybe. I'm not exactly sure really. I'm really not exactly sure, so if I'm completely off, please correct me in the comments below. I have not really been into dystopian lately. I kind of feel like I'm a little bit over it, but this idea just sounded really intriguing, and maybe it will help return my love for dystopian. I don't know, we'll see, we'll see. The next book that I picked up recently is Ruin and Rising, and this is the 3rd book in the Grisha trilogy by Leigh Bardugo. I recently read Shadow and Bone last month in June, and while I did have some problems with it, I did end up really enjoying it, and I am just really excited to see where the series goes on from here. And yeah, I'm just really excited about it. And these covers, can I just say, thank you so much, publishing company, for making all the covers match, because it's just beautiful. The next book that I picked up is The Merciless by Danielle Vega. You guys know that I am currently reading this one for my July TBR, so I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about this one. I'm actually not going to go into any detail about it. If you want to hear more about it, I will link my July TBR down below. I just have to say I'm about 70 pages in and I am loving it. I am loving it. The next book that I picked up is The Glass Sentence by S.E. Grove. This is another one that I'm reading for July, so I'm not going to go into details about it, but I will link my July TBR down below so you guys can hear more about it. And I'm also reading this one right now at this moment, and I'm loving it. The next book that I recently picked up is We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. Now, I have already read this. I read it in June, and I will link the video to my June wrap up where I talk more about it, but I will just go ahead and say that despite all the hype and despite all the love surrounding this book on Booktube, it wasn't for me. Sorry, it really wasn't. The next book is yet another book that I already read. I actually read this one in May, and it is City of Heavenly Fire by Cassandra Clare. It is the 6th and final book in the Mortal Instruments series. And yes, I just said all of that without having to refilm. Yes. This is another book that I'm not going to go into detail about, but I will link my May TBR down below. The next book that I picked up is To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. This is a book about a girl named Laura Jean, and she writes love letters to all of the boys that she has loved, but I don't believe she's ever actually sent these letters. It's not really something that I would envision myself picking up, but I heard a lot of people really enjoyed it, and I recently read the Summer Trilogy by Jenny Han, and I really like her writing, so I figured I would give this one a go. The next book that I picked up is Dangerous Creatures by Cami Garcia and Margaret Stoll. This is actually the spin-off series to the Beautiful Creatures series, aka the Castor Chronicles series. I really adore the Beautiful Creatures series, despite how everyone on Booktube seems to hate it. I love it. I love it. I'll always love it. And I only have one more book left in that series, so I figured I would go ahead and pick this one up. The next book that I picked up is Everything Leads to You by Nina LaCour. Now, I've actually read Nina LaCour before. I read Hold Still, which was her debut novel, and I really enjoyed that one. It follows a girl named Emmy, and Emmy has recently moved to LA to live with her brother and to get into the Hollywood business, but not in the way that you would imagine, not as an actress, not as a singer, not of any of those things. She actually wants to be a set designer. This book just sounds really intriguing, and it also features a same-sex couple, and while I don't think that is the main point of the story, I think it's great that it is in the story because we need more diversity in life and we need more diversity in YA. Just saying. The next book that I picked up is Love Letters to the Dead by Ava DeLera. Now, this is another one I'm not going to go into detail about. I'm really sorry about that, you guys, but these books, I've had them for so long and I've read a lot of them, so. But I actually did a book review on this one. I really enjoyed it, and I will link that down below. The next book that I picked up is Rebel Belle by Rachel Hawkins. Now, I've never read Rachel Hawkins before, but she is really well known for her Hex Hall trilogy. It's a series, not a trilogy, which I own the first book in, so I really need to pick up. I've heard it compared to like Veronica Mars with like a witch setting. Rebel Belle follows a girl named Harper Price, and Harper is fit for her homecoming tiara. She is the perfect little Southern belle, but everything gets flipped around whenever she realizes that she has been granted the powers of a paladin, which enlists her to become a guardian to protect certain people. It kind of sounds reminiscent of like Rose and Lissa's relationship in Vampire Academy, but I'm not exactly sure because I haven't picked it up yet. Again, it's probably not one I would have picked up if I hadn't heard about it on Booktube, but I'm glad I did because there's been a lot of praise in this one, and I want to read it. The next book that I picked up is Cruel Beauty by Rosamund Pike. Rosamund Pike? Who's Rosamund Pike? That's an actress, right? This is another book that was pretty hyped, but it's been quite a few months and I'm just kind of now getting on the bandwagon. Actually, I got on the bandwagon pretty quickly. Like I said, these books have been months ago, so whatever. People have said this is kind of like a spin on Beauty and the Beast, but to me it sounds more like a spin on the Persephone myth. It is about a girl who since birth has been promised to some sort of evil king guy situation going on, and she's been promised to him since a mistake that her father made many years ago, but she has been training to destroy this guy. Once he pops the ring on that finger, she's planning to kill him. And the cover is really pretty. Next book that I picked up is called Half Bad, and it is by Sally Green. It follows two races of witches. I'm guessing that one race is the good witches and the other race is the bad witches, and it is set in modern day London, so it really does sound like something that I would have wanted to pick up even if it hadn't been hyped, so I'm really looking forward to picking this one up. The next book that I picked up is called The Kingdom of Little Wounds by Suzanne Cockle. This is a book that I've seen a couple of people haul recently, but I have not heard anyone do a review on it yet, so I really want to pick this one up pretty soon. It sounds really good. This book takes place in a Scandinavian city. Already a plus. What? That sounds incredible. And on the eve of the princess's marriage, a sudden plague takes over the city and it starts killing off all of the heirs to this kingdom. I believe that more specifically this story focuses around a seamstress and a nursemaid who work in the kingdom, and I think it kind of tells of their journey as they have to deal with everything falling apart around them and the possibility that someone who is not entitled to the throne is going to take it anyway. And it just sounds really good. I've heard that it's really mature for YA, so I really wanted to pick this one up. And can I just show you guys what? Purple pages, maroon pages. The next book that I picked up is Days of Blood and Starlight by Lanny Taylor. I have not read the first book in this trilogy, the Shadow and Daughter of Bone. I haven't read that one yet, but I own it and I wanted to go ahead and buy this one, but on Amazon it takes like 3 weeks to ship for reasons I do not know. So when I saw it at Books A Million for $5.97, despite the fact that it has this sticker that I'm never going to be able to get off, I decided to go ahead and pick it up because it was too good of a deal. The next book that I picked up is The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas. I'm the only person on Booktube who has to hesitate and has to read that author's name. I feel ashamed. It contains all of the novellas in the Throne of Glass series, which I've read the first one of, but I have not read the second one. While I was not as thrilled as everyone else by Throne of Glass, I enjoyed it towards the end. Towards the end, I felt like it picked up, and a lot of people have told me that the second one is so much better and I just need to give it a chance, so I went ahead and picked this up because apparently I just have a problem and I can't wait to read the rest of the books before I pick up this one, so. The next two books that I picked up are out of a series, and I've got books 1 and 2, the only ones that have been released so far, and they are Burn for Burn and Fire with Fire by Jenny Han and Siobhan Vivian Fancher. This is a series that I have been wanting to pick up for a while now. A lot of people have read it, and a lot of people have said it's a really good contemporary. It kind of sounds like a mixture of Gossip Girl meets Pretty Little Liars to me, so I felt like I should pick it up. But basically, this series follows 3 girls, and all of the girls it seems to me that each of them have been burned in one way or another by a member of the opposite sex. And this follows one summer where they all join together to get revenge on each of these douchebags. Sounds good. Next book that I picked up is Catch Up Clouds by Annabelle Pitcher. This is a book that I have not heard a lot of people talk about, but I did hear Lorna over at the Books and the Bees talk about. I will leave a link to her channel down below. She's incredible. You guys really should check out her channel. She's fantastic. So this book follows a young girl who starts corresponding with a Texas death row inmate, and I think she slowly begins to reveal to him that she has actually murdered someone. I will read you the little blurb on the back. Dear Mr. S. Harris, ignore the blob of red in the top left corner. It's jam, not blood, though I don't think I need to tell you the difference. It wasn't your wife's jam the police found on your shoe. I know what it's like. Mine wasn't a woman, mine was a boy, and I killed him 3 months ago exactly. People are saying it is heartbreaking and hysterically funny, and from the little blurb, I can get the humor. I can get the humor, though I can also get how like heavy and messed up this book is. The fact that it is YA, I believe it is YA. If it's not YA, please correct me. It just made me want to pick it up even more because this topic seems so pushing the limits for YA, and I love that. The next 2 books that I picked up are different editions that I found of Alice in Wonderland. If you guys watch my channel, you know that I collect different editions of Alice in Wonderland, so I saw these in Books A Million and decided to just pick them both up. The first one is a Penguin Classics cloth-bound edition. It feels really nice. And I actually own one of these. I own the Odyssey in this edition. So when I saw this one, I just thought, okay. The next one that I picked up is this paperback edition, and it is a modern library edition. It's really just cute. I thought it was really cute. I haven't ever seen this one, so I thought why not? The next book that I picked up is actually a box set, and it is the Summer Trilogy box set by Jenny Han. Yeah, it's really pretty. It reminds me of Neapolitan ice cream, which makes me hungry. I will go ahead and show you each book individually. The first book is The Summer I Turned Pretty. The second is It's Not Summer Without You. And the third is We'll Always Have Summer. The next books I picked up is actually another box set, and it is the Parasol Protectorate series by Gail Carriger. Now, I had actually not ever heard of this series before until I started watching Sanaa's videos over at Inkbones Books, and she is a huge lover of this series, and when she talks about it, she just makes me feel like I need it in my life. So I just decided to go ahead and pick it up. I got it really, really cheap. It was only like $20 at Barnes & Noble. I don't know if that's still the price, but I thought it was a good deal for 5 books. I don't know how to count. From what I gathered, this series is a steampunk series. I'm just gonna go ahead and read you guys the blurb because I don't really know. Alexia Terabody is laboring under a great many social tribulations. First, she has no soul. Second, she's a spinster whose father is both Italian and dead. Third, she was rudely attacked by a vampire, breaking all standards of social etiquette. Where to go from there? From bad to worse, apparently. For Alexia accidentally kills the vampire, and then the appalling Lord Macon, I don't know, loud, messy, gorgeous, and werewolf, is sent by Queen Victoria to investigate. So yeah, it just sounds really good, and I feel like steampunk is a genre that I'm just not as invested in, not because I just don't want to be, because steampunk, the idea of steampunk to me is amazing. But apart from the Clockwork Angel series, which I've not yet finished, I just haven't really delved into steampunk. So I'm excited to pick these ones up, and I will go ahead and show you each book individually. Oh, so pretty. I'm assuming this is the order that they go in. The first book is Soulless, the second is Changeless, the third is Blameless, the fourth is Heartless, and the fifth is Timeless. And can I just say these covers are incredible. These are like mass-produced paperback editions that I don't really like very much, but the font is pretty nicely sized, which is always a plus. I'm just gonna have to be really careful and read them like this so that I don't break the spine. Probably. The sacrifices we make to keep our books beautiful. All right, getting down to the nitty gritty. I have 6 more books left. Oh my God. The next book I picked up is Where She Went by Gail Forman. This is the companion novel to If I Stay, and I just really want to read this one. I read If I Stay, and while I don't feel like I felt all the feels that all the people are feeling about it, I did enjoy it. And I've been kind of on the fence on continuing with the companion novel because I liked the way that the ending for If I Stay was. I feel like a lot of people were probably like, what? But I kind of liked how it kept things open. So I've been really on the fence on continuing with this companion series, but I think it was Adriana over Perpetual Pages. I just feel like Adriana, will you sponsor my videos since I talk about you so much? Like, really, give me something, you know what I'm saying? I'm just kidding. I believe it was her who was talking about this one and how it's just a really, really great read. Can I just say that looks like Emily DeRaven? That looks like Emily DeRaven. Is that Emily DeRaven? The next book that I picked up is Second Chance Summer by Morgan Matson. Now, I have never read a Morgan Matson book before, but a lot of people have recommended her to me, and she just sounds like a really great contemporary writer. This book follows a girl named Taylor, and Taylor is returning to a beach house that she has been vacationing at with her family for years to spend the last summer with her father who has cancer. It sounds like it's gonna be a tearjerker. It sounds very reminiscent of the last song, and that one made me bawl. That one made me bawl. So I'm sure it's gonna have similar scenario here. The next book that I picked up is The Tragedy Paper by Elizabeth Lebon. I'm not gonna go into detail about this one because I have already done a review of this book, but I will link that one down below so you guys can check it out if you would like to. The next book that I picked up is September Girls by Bennett Madison. This is a book that is about mermaids. And I really don't think I need to go like any further into this one because I just said this book is about mermaids. Okay. This book follows a boy named Sam, and Sam's father has whisked him off for the summer to the beach. Sam quickly realizes that this little sleepy summer beach town that his father has dragged him off to is anything but average. And he quickly learns that the girls in this town, they're pretty mysterious and not in the ways that pretty blonde girls usually are. It's in a different way. I'm just gonna throw this out there. I'm guessing they're mermaids, and that's so cool. But if he's in love with a mermaid, I feel like there's a lot of obstacles that they're gonna have to overcome. I mean, the next book that I picked up is actually a middle grade book. This book follows a girl named Prue, and her life is pretty ordinary. That is until her baby brother is kidnapped by a murder of crows. The crows then take her brother to the impassable wilderness, which is a place that many people have ventured to, but no one has actually ever come out of. It sounds really reminiscent of Labyrinth, which is one of my favorite films of all time, so anything that even somewhat smidge-like reminds me of Labyrinth, I'm gonna pick it up. And also, this book, can we just look at its glory? Let's just do this for a minute. It's also been praised by Lemony Snicket, Trenton Lee Stewart, Jonathan Safran Foer, and Michael Chabon. And I love Michael Chabon, so. All right guys, we finally reached the end here, and my shoulder and my arm is killing me. I do this for you peeps. I do it for you. And the last book that I picked up is The Girl Who Circumnavigated Fairyland in a Ship of Her Own Making. Oh, that is a mouthful, and I said it right. Yes. Yes, shut up phone. Oh, and this is by Catherine M. Valenti. The drawings in this are so beautiful. They remind me of whoever drew the chapters in the Harry Potter series. I wonder if it's the same person. Ew. Oh no, it's not the same person, but it kind of looks like her. This is about a girl named September who just longs for adventure, and she finally gets that when she is invited to Fairyland. Unfortunately, upon visiting, September realizes that Fairyland is in turmoil, and she is going to have to figure out how to vanquish the evil Marquis in order to save it. It's also been praised by Tamara Pierce, Holly Black, and of course, the amazing Neil Gaiman. Alright guys, so this was, oh god. I can't feel my arm. I can't feel my wrist. Oh my god. I don't even know what to say here. Alright guys, so that's all for this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. In the comments below, you guys can let me know which of these books you think I should pick up first, because I definitely need some recommendations. I have very many books to choose from, as you guys just witnessed. So please help me out. Help a brother out, please. And this is just part 1 out of a 3-part series. As I mentioned before, I will also be hauling adult books and graphic novels, so stay tuned for those videos. They're coming. They're coming. Once I get feeling back in my arm, they're coming. Alright guys, so that's all for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next one. I can't lift my arm to wave to you, I'm sorry.